Fair, accurate, to the point. The 10 o'clock news continues on KPAX.
1 week ago, the Catholic Diocese of Helena posted the names of the priests and nuns accused of sexual and physical abuse in Montana from the 1930s through the 1970s, posted on their website. It was part of the settlement made between the church and those who accuse it of years of abuse by its clergy. Here's Jill Valley with more on that. Jill?
All right, Mike, thank you. The first name on the list that was posted online was a priest who served around western Montana for years, but it was his time as the priest in Phillipsburg that still haunts a Missoula man.
It was something that I was able to block out of my mind and life for so many years that when I do focus on it and everything, I revert back to that age.
Back to when he was 11 or 12 years old, growing up in Phillipsburg. Chuck was one child in a large family being raised by a single mother. Back then, the church was there to help families like his. Father James Berry was there to help.
He had a pretty outstanding reputation in the town and for helping people and whatnot, but I honestly believe that everybody knew that this was happening.
Berry was an accomplished stained glass artist. He was featured in this 1969 article in the Montana Standard. Court depositions describe how Father Berry let Chuck work in his stained glass shop. He would take the boy with him on road trips. Chuck says that's when the sexual abuse began.
This is between you and I, and you know, it was like he was doing me some kind of favor. I was learning about myself and being a young boy and everything. I just knew in my heart and everything that it was wrong, and that wasn't part of what boys do.
It was a pattern that continued for 2 years. Chuck says kids like him were easy prey, a distracted mother, poor, no father at home. He eventually told his mom, and she sent him to live with relatives. He bounced around the country for years but could never escape what happened to him, even now, some 40 years later.
Have really good times where I can work steadily and everything, and then there's mornings that I wake up and I don't know if it was from a dream or what. I get myself ready to walk out that door and I just break down, and then I relive all this stuff and, you know, try to make sense of it.
Chuck was part of the big lawsuit against the church, the amount of money each received based on a point system. More points for the type of abuse, the degree of intrusiveness, the frequency. He has reluctantly signed the settlement agreement, but neither time nor money is going to change what happened.
The thing that I went into this looking for was to regain my self-esteem and my confidence and be able to find closure to all this.
He still doesn't feel the church is remorseful enough for what happened to him and so many other children.
They stated that they're going to move on, put this behind them, move on and become as strong as ever. Well, you know, I struggle with putting this behind, and I struggle with being able to move on with my life and be strong as ever like the church wants to be. So, you know, it just angers me, the whole aspect set of how they've dealt with all this.
The diocese says less than 5% of the priests ordained in Helena have been accused of sexual abuse of a minor. That's 20 out of more than 400. Chuck's attorney is Milt Dotsopoulos. He tells me he's received more phone calls from potential victims now that that list of those people is posted online by the church. Chuck, meantime, is working on his bachelor's degree. He'd also like to reach out to the other victims. Mike?
All right, Jill, thank you very much. Stay with us. Health Watch is next.